Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are back only one more time before the dreaded international break. Nah, I'm not even fricking kidding. That is back already. So on one side you've got the torture of the international break looming upon us, and then the other we have a Ryan Jack injury. You mix them together, can you imagine what kind of CJ you're going to be getting in today's video? So hopefully by now you've joined the nation. So let's break down and discuss the football then, shall we? So we've got Rangers versus Hamilton. It's second place Rangers versus 8th place Hamilton. And if I'm honest with you, I don't think we need to break down the Hamilton team too much, like in too much detail. We sort of know how they play. They've not really ventured away from the kind of rugged part the bus style, especially against Rangers. But there is one little update I want to give you on the Hamilton side of things, and that's the fact that their striker George Oakley will be returning after missing the last game for suspension. So their best striker is back. Superb. Just their luck. But personnel and sort of play style to one side, just looking at this Hamilton team, they have been slowly but surely grinding out very impressive results. They've already took points off Hearts this season. They've went very close to taking points off Celtic, with only lost narrowly 1-0, and they really should have been into that game of football. They had 3 or 4 massive opportunities, especially one with their striker who was in on goal and dragged it nearly to the corner flag. So they do have a bit of threat, along with sitting and parking the bus, which we have shown in stages that we struggle to break down. So I don't believe it's going to be a sort of foregone conclusion that we're going to absolutely destroy them 7, 8, 9, 10 frickin' nil. Now I hope I'm wrong, hopefully we do smash them, but I think this is going to be another grey hair-esque type performance until we get that first goal, and then it should open up and Rangers get more confident in the game. But yeah, this Hamilton team isn't a walkover side. They fight hard for their manager and they fight hard for each other. And with that being said, let's turn our attention to where it belongs then, shall we? And that is on the Rangers. And if I'm honest with you, since the very disappointing result versus Young Boys on Thursday, there has been one major debate in Rangers universe since it's happened, ladies and gentlemen, and that is, what do you do with Captain Tavernier? I am not joking when I say this. I have never ever been sent so many questions about one single player as I have been about Captain Tav since Thursday night's game. Honestly, it's been overwhelming checking Instagram, checking Twitter. There is so much discussion and debate, so let's bring it into today's video and discuss it with each other. Now, there's no beating around the bush that Tavernier was bad on Thursday night. We need to say it. As much as I love Captain Tavernier, and I've sat here and defended the man so many times, that was a bad Tavernier performance, and I'm going to hold my hands up and say, yes, you're completely right. For the people that continue to tell me he's not a defender and everything like that, you got me in that game. And for the people demanding that he gets dropped for a game because there's been a lot of other players since Gerrard has come in been dropped for a hell of a lot less, again, fair enough, you've got me there. But even with that, I am still on team Captain Tavernier. I still believe in the guy, and I do not want to see him dropped for tomorrow's match. And that sort of echoes with what Gerrard was saying during this week's press conference as well. He came out firing right away, not beating around the bush to defend his captain, and not really defend his performance, but defend the choice of Captain Tavernier being the captain of this football club, because again, that's been brought up in great length. I mean, there's so many people calling for him to be stripped of the captaincy. But Gerrard halted all that discussion by saying he is the captain for a reason. And not only just coming out with that statement, it's the way he went on to speak about the role of being a captain. It isn't all just about the highs and about when you're playing well and everyone tells you how great you are, you're the captain of the team, you're playing well. It's about these lows that happens when you're the captain of a football team as well, to see what you've got in the inside, to see if you can respond when things aren't going right. When you have a bad performance, have you got to in yourself to respond? And apparently Captain Tavernier has that, and he has shown that in the past, and he will continue to do so as the Rangers captain. So Gerrard very fiery in his response and backing his captain, which again, I love to see that. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that Tavernier isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and he will be starting in tomorrow's match based on how Gerrard responded during this week's press conference. But again, I just want to know what your opinions are on Captain Tavernier. Now that the dust has settled from Thursday night and we've sort of not really got over the disappointment because it still stings, but we maybe reflect back on it a little bit differently, because I saw how you felt during the fan recap and not a lot of it was positive, let's say that to the very least. But how do you feel now? Do you think Captain Tavernier should be dropped because of these errors, as maybe being taught a quote-unquote lesson by some people in the comments, or do you think give him an opportunity to prove why he is the Rangers captain. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. And while you guys are hopefully getting your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below, I will give you mine very, very briefly. In fact, you already know where I sit on the Tav situation. I've already said in today's video. But the reason why I want to see Tavernier starting tomorrow is I still think he's by far one of our best overall players. He's so important to the way that we play, and I just think give him the opportunity to bounce back, because he'll be feeling it worse than anyone. He knows what it means to us. He's been with us a very long time. Let him go and take that frustration out on the opposition, the Mora, and get us the 3 points, because to me the league is always the priority. Yes, it was a disappointing result in European football, but I want these players motivated for the SPFL to win us that league title. So give Tavernier the chance to release that frustration on Hamilton. Next up on the all press conference recap, we have another strong statement from Steven Gerrard. For me personally, that was one of his best press conferences. He was firing left, right and frickin' centre during the press conference, which you can find on the official Rangers YouTube channel, by the way. But it was regarding the all rotations argument and was there going to be many changes based on Thursday's game. And I just love the way that Gerrard responded. He went, no, we'll be very strong. Now, we did go on to mention the fact that a couple of players has little problems, like a couple of dead legs, a couple of tired legs. Boys are a bit tired overall, and there's obviously a couple of players that will be missing the game, but we'll break that down later on during the team news section. But regarding the overall shape and the change of the squad, I absolutely love the fact that he says he wants to keep it as pretty much the same as it was on Thursday night. He wants to keep the starting 11 as close as they can to keep the same positive momentum that we have been building up over the last couple of weeks, because if you think back to his first term, he made a lot of chops and changes and gave people the opportunity to go out and play. You heard from Gerrard, I'll give you his opportunities, it's up for you to take it. But I feel like a year on, after some of those games where players didn't take their opportunities and it cost us in the league, I feel like a year on he's now in a position where he knows what his best 11 is, and he wants to make sure that that is the priority over anyone else's overall feelings or anything. And I think that is what we need. That is a title mentality, that always putting your best out first. Yes, it's great to see other people be given opportunities here or there, but no in league football needs to be our best overall team. Now again, that may sound painfully obvious, but if you're a Rangers fan, you've watched what we have done over the last couple of years in the league, experimenting and mixing and matching from European football. You know exactly what I mean, and I love the fact that Gerrard has understated the fact that the league has to have the best players constantly. So we ended the press conference recap with a feel-good story. So see that good feeling right there? Let's throw it over the shoulder, because we're diving over the team news, and obviously Ryan Jack is out injured. Now, I don't think I'm surprising anyone by how highly I rate Ryan Jack. I mean, I could speak about this guy in great length. I think he's genuinely that great. He's by far my favourite Rangers player. So instead of doing what you may have heard numerous times, I'm going to take myself out of this part of today's video, and we're actually going to just tip the cap to the gaffer, because I have never, ever seen Steven Gerrard talk about the importance of a football player like he was when he was discussing Ryan Jack during this week's press conference. You saw his body language, his face, the way he was talking. Ryan Jack is clearly a very important part of Steven Gerrard's plans. He even went on to say that he's offered the man a new deal and he hopes to have that signed soon. And he went further than just his performance on his park. He went and talked about training, how Ryan Jack is the hardest worker in training constantly. He outworks everyone and he runs himself into the ground every single day for this football club. So the potential impact of a Ryan Jack long-term injury is massive to our entire season. And again, there's no concrete news about what's wrong with Ryan Jack. He's had a scan. It's not been released yet how serious this injury is, but Gerrard has definitely ruled out this game, and he's pretty much all but guaranteed the international break as well. Now, I'm just sitting there thinking, I hope and pray he is back just at the end of the international break for us to continue, because if it is long term, you saw for the gaffer himself, this is massive. So fingers crossed that the injury isn't serious at all and Ryan Jack is back doing what he does best, and that's playing for Rangers very, very soon. Now, moving to the other fresh injury update that we have, this is the fact that Hollander is currently listed as a doubt for tomorrow's game with a problem with his foot. Now, Gerrard said Hollander could possibly play in tomorrow's game, but again, it's going to be up to him, and it's going to be a late decision whether or not he plays. But that one I'm not too worried about, because again, Katic will be coming in, and again, the argument's always there that Katic is probably up there with our best centre half. So I feel like if Hollander does need to drop out, I'm not overly worried about that spot. Now, there was no other updates given on Jordan Jones and Ryan Kent. We know that they are back training, and Kent's been training pain-free now for nearly 2 weeks. So they're edging ever closer. And obviously John Flanagan, again, not a word on him. But we did get one little update regarding injury, which is a bit of good news. So let's end with a bit of good news then, shall we? And that's the fact that Joe Aribo has an outside chance of being involved in the game tomorrow. Sort of wearing a Peter Cech-esque helmet right now, which is obviously covering the stitches, the scars, and again, as uncomfortable it is for him to wear, there is the possibility of Joe Aribo playing some part in tomorrow's game, which is actually some great news to hear, by the way, and we needed that over the last couple of days. And with all that being said, that is the preview, that's the press conference, and that is the latest team news wrapped up in a neat little bow. Now we turn our attention to the prediction ons, and we have our say. So while you guys are getting your predictions down there for the game versus Hamilton, again, as I mentioned earlier on, I think it is going to be a frustrating game until we get that first goal, but I feel like when we do get that first goal, we will blow the doors off the hinges. So I'm actually going to go big with this one, a statement performance just before the international break. Rangers 4, Hamilton 0. My goal scorers is going to be a Jermaine Defoe goal, because that's the way it seems to be going right now. I feel like Alfredo will also score in the game of football. I believe Big Katic will get a goal if he starts. And my fourth goal scorer, you've probably guessed it, it's going to be none other than the captain himself, Captain Tavernier. So now that me and thee have had their say, let's sit back and relax and hear from the people. There's been 1,253 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. Only 2% votes for the draw. That's what I like to see. 5% though, votes for Hamilton. We don't like to see that. But the far and away winner with 93% of the vote is a Rangers home win. Stevie Brown writes in, Andy predicts 3-0, but I think 4-0. Let's see who's the best. Let's be fair, Stevie. It's probably Andy. Kyle writes in 3-0 also. Cam writes in, accidentally clicked Hamilton. I'm thinking 6-0 Rangers. Well, thank you for clicking the wrong poll there, Cam. I really appreciate it. Jude writes in 3-0 Rangers. Lee Wallace hat-trick. He's going to push me today, aren't he? I feel it. I feel it in here. Andrew Bluebells writes in 4-0, I think, CJ. I think he'll play Defoe. I see him scoring 2, and then Tav and Katic to be the others to score. It's very similar to what I was saying there. Thomas Lee writes in 6-0 Rangers with Matty Polster to score, Defoe to score 3, Barker to score 1, and Morelos to score 1 with that one. Barney Stinson writes in 6-0 to the famous. Again, that's back-to-back sixes. Unusual, unless you're Damien and you go for the 3. But he writes in a Defoe hat-trick, Ojo, Katic and Arfield with the other goals. Molly, though, returns back to the 3-0 scoreline with Katic, Polster and Morelos. So we're seeing a bit of love for Polster already in the Twitter poll. Cammy McFarlane writes in, can't see he's putting 6 or 7 past them, to be honest. Best of luck anyway. Thank you, Cammy. Mike G writes in 4-0. I bet Tav scores. It's on the cards after Thursday night. Morelos with 2 and Defoe with the other. Logan Neely writes in 4-0, Morelos hat-trick and Barker to come on and score. Scott writes in 4-0, Tav to score a penalty. It's inevitable at this point. Morelos to get 1 and Defoe to get the other 2. And the last one we read out in tonight's video, we'll scroll all the way up, scroll all the way down, we'll flip it upside down, know that it does anything, and we'll stop it right there. And it actually comes in from Lee Wren, and he writes in 5-0 to Rangers. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people. Now, the people, you've also heard from throwing my phone there really threw me, because it missed where I usually threw it, and it's probably broken at this point. But if you're still watching today's video, thank you so much. Shout out to the absolute legends on the Patreon's account, by the way, if you would like to support the channel. Link for that, as always, down there in the description below. And I've been CJ Over92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.